They smile in your face, shake your hand, ask how you've been. But behind those smiles, behind the politeness, behind every favor, there's a price. The truth? Everyone wants something from you. Your time, your loyalty, your energy, your money, your silence. And most of them don't even know they're doing it. Niccolo Machiavelli warned us centuries ago. Men are not driven by goodness. They are driven by interest. The moment your usefulness disappears, so does their affection. You're not loved. You're not respected. You're simply needed. Until you're not. But here's the harsh twist. If you don't see the game, you become the pawn. If you don't know what they want, you can't defend yourself, let alone win. So what do? You sharpen your awareness. You watch how people move, not what they say. You study motives like a surgeon studies flesh. Because once you realize everyone is playing you gain the power to play back. And once you learn to play back, you become dangerous.
Let's make something brutally clear. No one truly cares about your intentions. Good heart, noble effort, nice, but irrelevant. People don't remember what you meant to do. They remember what you gave them. And when that giving stops, so does their loyalty. In this world, your value is transactional. It's not about being liked. It's about being needed. Even the closest bonds, your family, your so-called friends, even lovers, they all revolve around one silent agreement. As long as you benefit me, I'll stay. It sounds harsh, but Niccolo Machiavelli saw it long before we did. He wrote, "Men forget the death of their father sooner than the loss of their inheritance." Let that sink in. They will cry for you, but they'll rage if you take away their comfort. This means something dangerous for you. Once you stop being useful, you become invisible. And not slowly, immediately. It happens when you can't pay the bill, when you say no instead of yes, when you stop being the listener, the fixer, the helper. That's when you see people's true colors, not in your success, but in your exhaustion. So what's the move? You don't just try to be liked, you become needed, in silence. You don't brag about your value, you build it, quietly. And you never let anyone know just how much they rely on you, until it's too late. You stay unpredictable, because the moment they can map you out, they can replace you. The moment they feel your presence isn't rare, they stop respecting it. Don't be easy to access. Don't be too quick to help. Make your presence feel like a privilege, not a routine. Your usefulness is your weapon, but it must be strategic. So ask yourself this with brutal honesty. To the people around me, am I essential or just convenient? Because when the world sees you as replaceable, it won't even say goodbye when it moves on. Remember that. You were taught to be honest, to speak your truth, to say what you feel, even when it hurts. But let me ask you something. How many times has that honesty worked in your favor? The world doesn't reward raw emotion. It rewards strategy. And strategy is manipulation in motion. You might flinch at the word manipulation. It sounds dark, immoral, even evil. But Machiavelli didn't see it that way. To him, it was the art of survival. The art of bending perception to serve your interest, because whether you like it or not, you're being manipulated every day. When someone flatters you before asking a favor, when someone pretends to agree just to gain your trust, when someone shares a half-truth to steer your reaction, they're not being real. They're being effective. The office, the family, the dating scene. even your closest circle. It's all a battlefield of intentions hiding behind masks. And the ones who win? They don't cry for fairness. They adapt to the rules of the game. Machiavelli wrote, "The one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived." You think you're being respected? You might just be getting played. So how do you survive in a world that runs on manipulation? You don't reject it. You study it. You master it. You learn the difference between being honest and being strategic. Let's say someone disrespects you in public. Your instinct is to lash out, defend yourself. But that gives them power. It shows they touched a nerve. A Machiavellian move? Smile. Say nothing. Let the silence humiliate them louder than words ever could. Or imagine a situation where you need someone to help you. Someone who doesn't owe you anything. You could beg, or you could praise their strengths, plan to seed a flattery, and make them believe it was their idea to help you. That's not evil. That's leverage. And in a world where everyone wants something from you, you either influence or get influenced. You either set the tone or dance to someone else's tune. The key is control, not just of others, but of yourself. Your reactions, your tone, your timing. Because once you lose emotional control, they can play you like a puppet. So from now on, ask yourself, am I expressing or exposing? Am I reacting or responding? Because in every interaction, one person is in control, and one is being controlled. Choose wisely. You walk into a room and feel it, the quiet calculations. People weighing what you can offer against what you cost. It's not spoken, it's not obvious, but it's real. Because in every social interaction, there's a silent economy. And in that economy, your value is currency. You think you're just being yourself, but to them, you're a product, a resource, a shortcut, a stepping stone. And the moment your value isn't used by you, it gets used by them. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He didn't believe in fairness, he believed in leverage. And leverage comes from knowing your worth and charging for it. You see, the weak man gives his time for free. He offers his help without limits. He gives advice no one asked for, hoping to be liked. But the powerful man, he makes people earn his time. He understands this law. What is easily accessed is easily dismissed. So how do you protect your currency? You stop bleeding value into people who don't return it. You stop being available just to feel needed. You stop answering every message, showing up to every invite, fixing every crisis. Because every yes you give is a no to your own power. This world trains you to be selfless until you're drained and forgotten. It tells you to be kind, be giving, don't be selfish. But it never tells you this. The most dangerous man is the one who knows how to give strategically. So here's what you do. You create scarcity. You limit your presence. You withdraw your attention from the ungrateful. You make your energy a privilege, not a charity. And when you do give, make it count. Let it echo. Let it leave a mark. Because when your value is rare, it commands respect. And respect is the beginning of power. There's another reason this matters. When people know you, know your worth, they hesitate before using you. They choose their words more carefully. They think twice before making demands. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But he didn't mean terror. He meant boundaries that bite, respect that doesn't waver, a presence that commands attention, even in silence. So ask yourself right now, am I spending my value wisely?
Or am I being emotionally looted by people who give me nothing in return? Because in the end, you're either a vault of value or an open faucet, and the world will never tell you to close it. It'll just keep drinking. There's a reason the word no feels heavy in your mouth. You were trained to avoid it. Trained to feel guilt, shame, hesitation. To believe that saying no is selfish, rude, even cruel. But here's what they never told you. The people who fear your no are the ones who are benefiting from your silence. Look around. How many times have you agreed to things you didn't want to do? How often have you sacrificed your time, energy, peace, just to keep the peace? That's not virtue. That's submission. Machiavelli warned us, any man who tries to be good all the time is bound to come to ruin. Because goodness without limits becomes weakness, and weakness invites predators. People use guilt like a leash. They say things like, after all I've done for you, you're not the same anymore. You've changed. Of course you have. Growth feels like betrayal to those who only loved your obedience. You have to understand, guilt is the weapon of those who have no power over you, except the one you hand them. They can't control you physically, so they manipulate your mind. They dress up their needs as your responsibilities. They call their entitlement your duty. And before you realize it, you're exhausted, overcommitted, and resentful, while they sit back and feed on your compliance. But the cure is simple. No. Not the weak kind, not the maybe, not the I'll try. A clean, unapologetic no. No explanation, no guilt, no justification. Because real power isn't just about what you say yes to. It's about what you're willing to deny. You have to remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to something that could have built you. Every yes is a transaction, and if you keep giving without demand, you teach people that your boundaries are negotiable. Once they know that, they'll keep testing them. Machiavelli's genius wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. He saw the game for what it was. He knew that being too kind, too open, too agreeable was an invitation for exploitation. So here's your rule. No is your filter. No is your shield. No is how you find out who respects you and who was only around for access. Say it with strength. Say it often. Because the world will never stop asking more from you. But you get to decide when the price is too high. And if that offends them, good. Let them choke on your boundaries. By now, the truth should be sinking in. You are surrounded by motives. Hidden behind smiles. You are praised when useful, ignored when spent. You are not in a world of honesty. You're in a world of tactics. And if you keep playing with your heart wide open, you will keep losing. Machiavelli didn't write for the naive. He wrote for the powerful. And if there's one lesson that echoes louder than all, it's this. Learn to play the game, or be played. Because here's the harsh law no one wants to admit. People don't love you. They love the version of you that makes them feel good. The version that says yes. The version that stays quiet. The version that sacrifices without asking for return. But the moment you shift, the moment you say no, go silent, build power, they panic. Not because you're wrong, but because they're losing control. You were never loved. You were managed. So how do you break the cycle? You stop being emotionally predictable. You stop revealing your thoughts like a diary. You stop apologizing for being calculating, because everyone else already is.
Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them second-guess your motives. Let them chase your approval instead of expecting your submission. Machiavelli said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can feel." Translation: your image is power. Your perception is a weapon, and how they see you determines how they treat you. So build mystery. Control your presence. Make your silence louder than their noise. Never show desperation. Never let them see you unravel. Because once they taste your weakness, they'll feed off it. You don't need to lie. You don't need to become evil. But you do need to become strategic. You do need to study the game. Look at every interaction and ask, what do they want from me? What am I giving away too freely? What am I not using to my advantage? Because in this life, everyone wants something from you. And if you don't play back, you'll spend your years being drained, used, and quietly forgotten. You have two choices. Be the player or the prey. Be the one who moves the pieces or the one who is the piece. So choose, because the game never stops. Only the blind think they are not in it.